We got a viewer request recently that, I gotta say, piqued my interest. Someone wanted us to do a deep dive on a set of practice questions for the Aruba HPE7-A08 exam.
Interesting.
Yeah, and at first I was like, really? An exam?
Right.
But the more I looked at it, the more I realized it's not really about just passing a test. This is about understanding Aruba's CX series switches.
Yeah.
These questions are like little nuggets of wisdom about what makes these switches tick. Their core functionalities, why they're designed the way they are, and what makes them such a big deal in modern networks. We're giving you, the listener, a back door into some real cutting-edge networking knowledge.
Absolutely. It's a brilliant shortcut. Instead of trying to wade through pages and pages of technical documentation,
Right.
we can use these questions to zero in on what truly matters.
Yeah, and I did a little digging on the exam itself, just to give you a sense of what it's like. It clocks in at around 90 minutes, about 60 questions, and the unofficial passing score is somewhere around 70%. English is the language.
Yeah.
And it'll set you back about $200 to take it.
Crap.
But don't worry. Our goal isn't to prep you for the exam.
Right.
We want to crack open these questions and extract the essence of what makes Aruba CX switches so powerful and how they're designed to solve all sorts of networking challenges in different environments. So whether you're dealing with a small business network or a massive data center, we're aiming to give you those fundamental aha moments about how these switches work and why they matter.
It's all about making the complex simple and actionable.
Exactly.
Because these questions touch upon such a diverse range of features and applications, it's like a guided tour through the core concepts of Aruba CX technology.
So let's dive right in. I think the first question you shared is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It asks, which Aruba CX switch series supports modular power supplies for enhanced redundancy in enterprise networks? Now, the choices they give are A, Aruba CX 6200, B, Aruba CX 6300, C, Aruba CX 4100i, and D, Aruba CX 8325.
Okay.
And you, of course, knew the answer was B, the Aruba CX 6300.
Right.
But let's go deeper for a second. Why is modularity so crucial in an enterprise network? I mean, what's the big deal about having a power supply that you can just swap in and out like that?
Think about it this way. In a business, any kind of downtime can be costly, right?
Oh, yeah.
But in an enterprise network, which might be supporting hundreds or thousands of users and mission-critical applications,
Sure.
downtime is just not an option. That's why redundancy is so important. It's all about building in those fail-safes so that if one component fails, the whole system doesn't come crashing down.
Right.
With a modular power supply, like in the CX 6300, if one power supply goes bad, you can just hot swap it out without having to power down the entire switch.
Yeah.
So the network keeps running uninterrupted. It's all about minimizing disruptions and keeping things flowing smoothly.
So you're saying that for businesses that rely heavily on their networks, and most do these days,
Absolutely.
this kind of modularity is essential for maintaining continuous operation.
It's essential. I mean, think about it. Every minute of downtime could mean lost productivity, missed opportunities, even damage to a company's reputation.
Definitely.
Having modular, hot swappable components is just a smart way to mitigate that risk.
All right, so question 2 takes us to a different part of the network. It asks, which Aruba CX switch series is designed for high-performance core and aggregation layers with a modular chassis? The options are A, Aruba CX 6300, B, Aruba CX 8325, C, Aruba CX 8400, and D, Aruba CX 6200.
Okay.
You aced this one too, picking C, the Aruba CX 8400.
Right.
But let's break this down. We hear modular chassis and core and aggregation layers. And for someone who's not deep in the networking world, what should they be picturing here?
Imagine the core and aggregation layers as the central nervous system of your network.
Wow.
All the traffic from different parts of the network flows through these layers, and they're responsible for connecting everything together. So they need to be extremely robust, scalable, and highly available.
That's where the modular chassis comes in, right?
Yeah, precisely. The CX8400, with its modular design, allows you to expand its capabilities as your needs grow. You can add more line cards for increased bandwidth, more processing power, and you can even have redundant modules for critical components like the management module and the fabric modules that interconnect everything. This way, if one module fails, the system can keep running without any interruption. It's like having built-in insurance against failure.
So if you're building a network that needs to handle a lot of traffic and can't afford any downtime, like in a data center or a large enterprise,
Right.
the CX8400 with its modular chassis is the way to go.
It's designed to be the backbone of a high-performance, highly resilient network.
And the question mentioned EVPN VXLAN. What does that tell you about what the 8400 is capable of?
That's a great point to bring up. EVPN VXLAN is a technology that allows you to create these virtual networks on top of your physical infrastructure.
Wow.
It's like building tunnels for your network traffic. This is especially important in larger, more complex environments where you need to segment your network into different virtual environments, maybe for security reasons or to support multiple tenants on the same physical infrastructure.
Got it.
So the fact that the CX8400 supports EVPN VXLAN is a clear indication that it's designed for these advanced, highly scalable networking scenarios.
All right, moving on to question 3. It asks, which Aruba CX feature provides real-time network visibility and enables event-driven automation? And the choices are A, Aruba Net Edit, B, Network Analytics Engine, NAE, C, Virtual Switching Framework, VSF, and D, Dynamic Segmentation.
Okay.
And the correct answer, of course, is B, the Network Analytics Engine, or NAE. So what exactly is this NAE thing, and why should our listeners be excited about it?
Imagine having a set of eyes constantly watching your network. That's essentially what the NAE does. It collects all sorts of data from the switches in real time, analyzes it, and gives you a clear picture of what's happening on your network. It can track things like bandwidth usage, performance bottlenecks, security threats, anything that could potentially impact the health of your network.
So it's like a constant health check.
Exactly, but it's more than just a passive monitoring tool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The NAE also supports event-driven automation. So let's say you have a critical link that starts getting overloaded with traffic. The NAE can detect that and automatically trigger an alert so you can take action.
Right.
Or you could even configure it to automatically reroute traffic or adjust configurations to alleviate the problem. It's like having a built-in network engineer that's always on duty.
So this NAE is not only giving you insights into your network, but it's also taking action to keep things running smoothly.
Exactly. It's about being proactive instead of reactive. It's about preventing problems before they even happen.
And that's got to be a huge time saver for network admins.
Oh, absolutely. Instead of spending their days putting out fires, they can focus on more strategic tasks.
Okay, question 4 takes us in a different direction. It asks, which Aruba CX switch series is best suited for SMB and branch office deployments due to its fixed power supply and cost-effective design? The options are A, Aruba CX 6200, B, Aruba CX 8400, C, Aruba CX 10000, and D, Aruba CX 8325.
Got it.
You nailed it with A, the Aruba CX 6200. So why would a smaller deployment choose a fixed power supply over a modular one? And what makes this series so cost-effective?
For a small or medium-sized business or a branch office, the needs and the budget are going to be different than what you'd find in a large enterprise.
Yeah,
They might not need the same level of redundancy or the ultra-high performance features of the larger switches.
makes sense.
So the CX6200 series strikes a balance between features and cost-effectiveness. The fixed power supply helps keep the initial price down, and the design focuses on providing those essential enterprise-grade features without all the bells and whistles that might not be necessary in a smaller environment.
So it's about getting the right level of functionality without overspending.
Exactly. It's about meeting those specific needs of smaller deployments in a way that's both affordable and efficient.
Question 5 brings us to the world of data centers. It asks, which 2 Aruba CX switch series are recommended for spine leaf architectures in modern data centers? Select 2. The options are A, Aruba CX 6300, B, Aruba CX 9300, C, Aruba CX 8325, and D, Aruba CX 4100i.
Okay.
Kick the right combo. B, the Aruba CX 9300, and C, the Aruba CX 8325.
Right.
So let's talk about spine leaf architecture. What makes these 2 series ideal for that kind of setup in a data center?
Imagine a data center with tons of servers all needing to communicate with each other really quickly.
Right.
That's where spine leaf architecture comes in. It's all about creating a highly efficient network fabric where data can flow between servers with minimal delays. The CX9300 and the CX8325 are designed specifically for this type of environment. They offer high port density, meaning you can connect a ton of servers to them, and they support those super high-speed connections like 100 gigabit Ethernet, 100 GBE, that are necessary to keep up with the demands of modern applications and virtualized environments.
So if you're building a data center that needs to handle a massive amount of east-west traffic, this traffic flowing between servers, these are the switches you'd want to use.
Absolutely. They're designed to provide that high bandwidth, low latency connectivity that modern data centers require.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and talk about managing all these switches.
Yeah.
Question 6 asks, which feature of Aruba CX switches simplifies network configuration, reduces errors, and provides validation tools? The choices are A, Zero-Touch Provisioning, ZTP, B, Aruba Net Edit, C, Network Analytics Engine, NAE, and D, Intelligent Power Monitoring.
Right.
You correctly chose B, Aruba NetEdit. So what makes NetEdit such a powerful tool for network admins? How does it make their lives easier?
Traditionally, configuring network switches has been a very manual process. Imagine having to go to each switch individually, typing in commands, making sure everything is configured correctly. It's time-consuming and prone to errors.
It sounds like a nightmare.
It can be. That's where NetEdit comes in. It allows you to manage and configure multiple switches from a single centralized interface.
Nice.
So instead of having to touch every switch individually, you can define your configurations in NetEdit and then push those configurations out to all the switches simultaneously. This drastically reduces the time and effort required, and it also helps minimize errors because you're not typing in the same commands over and over again.
So less chance of typos and inconsistencies.
Exactly. But NetEdit takes it a step further. It has these built-in validation tools that can analyze your configurations before you deploy them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it can check for things like conflicts, inconsistencies, or potential problems. It's like having a second set of eyes scrutinizing your work before you hit the go button. This helps ensure that your configurations are solid and that you're not going to inadvertently cause any network disruptions.
That's pretty amazing. It's like having a safety net for your network configurations.
Absolutely. NetEdit is a game changer for network admins, helping them work more efficiently and with greater confidence.
Okay, question 7 brings us to the world of wireless and IoT. It asks, which Aruba CX switch series includes models with smart rate ports to support high-speed access for Wi-Fi 6 and IoT devices? The options are A, Aruba CX 6200, B, Aruba CX 8400, C, Aruba CX 6300, and D, Aruba CX 4100i.
Okay.
You got this one right, too. C, the Aruba CX 6300. So what are these smart rate ports and why are they so important for supporting newer technologies like Wi-Fi 6 and IoT?
Okay, so think about it. We have these super fast Wi-Fi 6 access points that can deliver incredible wireless speeds.
Yeah.
But what good is that speed if the wired network can't keep up?
Right, that makes sense.
That's where smart rate ports, also known as multi-gigabit ports, come in. These ports can go beyond the traditional 1 gigabit Ethernet speed and support 2.5 GBE, 5 GBE, and even 10 GBE. This ensures that the wired network can handle the increased traffic from those high-speed Wi-Fi 6 access points and all the IoT devices that are starting to demand more bandwidth.
So it's about future-proofing the network.
It is. The CX6300 series, by offering these smart rate ports, is ensuring that your wired infrastructure doesn't become a bottleneck for your wireless and IoT deployments. It's about keeping everything running smoothly and allowing you to take full advantage of the latest technologies.
Okay, question 8 takes us into the realm of network security. It asks, which Aruba CX switch series supports multi-tenancy and network segmentation through EVPN VXLAN? The options are A, Aruba CX 6200, B, Aruba CX 8300, C, Aruba CX 8325, and D, Aruba CX 4100i.
Got it.
You correctly identified C, the Aruba CX 8325. We touched on EVPN VXLAN earlier, but let's go a bit deeper. Why is this technology so crucial for implementing things like multi-tenancy and network segmentation?
So when we talk about network segmentation, we're essentially talking about dividing the network into separate, isolated sections, kind of like creating virtual walls within your network. This is important for security because it can help contain the damage if one part of the network is compromised. It also improves performance by limiting broadcast traffic and making things more efficient.
Makes sense.
Multi-tenancy takes this concept a step further. It allows multiple independent users or organizations to share the same physical infrastructure while keeping their traffic completely separate and secure. It's like having multiple virtual networks running on top of the same physical hardware.
So you're saying that EVPN VXLAN is the key to making this kind of sophisticated network segmentation and multi-tenancy possible.
Exactly. The CX8325, with its support for EVPN VXLAN, provides the advanced capabilities needed to create these complex and highly secure network architectures. It's a powerful tool for organizations that need that level of flexibility and control over their network.
Question 9 focuses on those high-speed connections within a network. It asks, which Aruba CX switch series offers 100 GBE uplinks to support high-performance interconnects in enterprise networks? Your options are A, Aruba CX 6200, B, Aruba CX 6300, C, Aruba CX 4100i, and D, Aruba CX 8400.
Okay.
And you nailed it again with D, the Aruba CX 8400. So why are these high-speed 100 GBE uplinks so important for a large enterprise network?
Imagine you have a highway with multiple lanes, and you suddenly narrow it down to a single lane. That's going to create a bottleneck, right? That's what can happen in a network if you don't have enough bandwidth between different parts of the network. The 100 gigabit Ethernet uplinks in the CX8400 are like those wide, multi-lane highways that can handle massive amounts of traffic without slowing things down.
So it's all about preventing bottlenecks.
Exactly. Those high-speed uplinks are essential for ensuring smooth and efficient data flow throughout the network, especially in large enterprises where you have tons of users, devices, and applications all competing for bandwidth.
And our final question today brings us back to security.
Here.
It asks, which Aruba CX feature enables secure, role-based network segmentation across wired and wireless networks? The options are A, Virtual Switching Extension, VSX, B, Dynamic Segmentation, C, Smart Rate Ports, and D, Network Analytics Engine. And A, you correctly chose B, Dynamic Segmentation. So what is dynamic segmentation, and how does it help organizations enforce security policies across their entire network, regardless of whether someone is connecting via Wi-Fi or an Ethernet cable?
Think of dynamic segmentation as a way to define security policies based on who the user is or what type of device they're using.
Okay.
So you might have a policy that says only employees in the finance department can access financial servers, or that guest Wi-Fi users can only access the internet, not internal resources.
That makes sense.
The beauty of dynamic segmentation is that these policies are applied automatically, no matter how the user or device connects to the network. So if a finance employee plugs into a wired port, they get access to the finance servers.
Right.
But if they switch to the guest Wi-Fi network, they're automatically limited to just internet access.
It's about enforcing those security policies consistently across the entire network.
Exactly. It simplifies security management, it reduces the risk of human error, and it helps create a more secure environment overall.
Technology can make a real difference in your network and help you achieve your business objectives. So explore those possibilities and see how these innovations can transform the way you connect and manage your world.
Excellent advice.
Until next time, happy networking.
Take care.
Bye.